In this video, I'm going to dive into that new steering wheel, talk all about it, and talk about my plans for getting it installed in the near future. So recently I got in touch with the team at Revesol steering wheels, and for those that don't know, Revesol is a company that makes all kinds of aftermarket steering wheels that are performance oriented for a myriad of different kinds of vehicles, which I'll get into later in the video. But I got in touch with them and they were happy to send me out a hydro-dipped carbon fiber and leather wrapped steering wheel for the C5 Corvette. Now, I've been on the hunt for an affordable steering wheel for this car for a long time, and unfortunately up until recently there hasn't been a ton of options. You've either had to pay $800 for a remade kind of stock steering wheel with carbon fiber grips and leather grips, or you had to go with a non-airbagged aftermarket racing wheel for your Corvette, which I didn't really want to do because I wanted to maintain the safety factor of the airbag. So when this company finally started coming out with some steering wheels, in particular for the C5 Corvette, that maintained that stock steering wheel airbag, I was really excited to see that. So it's going to be a great add for the build and really enhance the look and feel of the interior of the car. So without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this steering wheel, show you guys the wheel, and kind of talk about the materials that it's made from, and then the process for getting this installed in the coming video. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I took a quick peek at the steering wheel before filming this video, so it is still an unboxing, but I was so excited to get this thing in the mail, so that's why the packaging looks like this. It was all nicely taped and sealed and everything. So let's go ahead and get this thing open. That was a lot less graceful than I thought it was going to be. So they packaged the wheel in some nice bubble foam, so great protection during shipping. So let's go ahead and pop this bubble wrap off. And here we go. Let's get the box out of the way. So here it is, the aftermarket OEM Plus is what I'm going to call it, because it is a OEM steering wheel frame and everything. They just basically redo all the surfaces that you touch and feel while you're using the wheel, minus the airbag in the center, obviously. But as you can see right now, so they put some foam wraps around the Hydrodipped portions to protect it from getting scratched during shipping and handling. But you can see some of the exposed perforated, I don't know if it's called perforated leather, it's like dimpled leather, kind of like a golf ball. And then the beautiful red stitching, which is just going to go perfect with the color combo of my Corvette. So the wheel looks great, but let's get this foam protection off and show you guys the real cool part, which is the hydro-dipped top and bottom sections. Now I'm going to be very cautious. I'm going to only extend my cutting blade a very small amount so I don't risk actually scoring the hydro-dipped, because that would be bad news. Alright, there's the top. Let's do the bottom next. Alright, here's the moment of truth. Oh man, that is so sweet. The quality of materials just off the bat just is remarkable for the price that you pay. Retail, this wheel goes for $279 at the time of filming this video, which is insane because it totally cuts off the competition for other steering wheels of this nature, where it's the OEM frame where you can still use an airbag. So let's go ahead and dive into the technical details of this wheel a little bit further in regards to the manufacturing and materials of this wheel, and then I'll talk about Revesol as a company and some of the other wheels that they offer, and in particular to the C5 and other cars and trucks as well. And then I'll kind of show it up into the interior of the car so you can kind of get an idea of what it'll look like, and then talk about my plan on how I'm going to be installing this. So the team at Revesol shot me a screenshot of the CAD model for this steering wheel in particular, and I'm going to throw it up on the screen here to help describe the manufacturing and materials for this wheel in particular. Now, Revesol offers a wide variety of different types of wheels, primarily between fully leather wrapped wheels, so where you got leather all the way around, you got a Hydrodipped top and bottom section, which is what this wheel is, and then you also have a leather wrapped side and real carbon fiber top and bottom section. But I believe at the time of filming this video, for the C5 Corvette in particular, they only have the complete leather wrapped wheel and just the wheel with the Hydrodipped top and bottom section. So real quick, I'll be talking about this particular wheel with the Hydrodipped top and bottom sections, which I imagine for the other wheels that they offer for other cars and trucks, the materials and manufacturing process is going to be very similar. So the CAD model I'm showing on the screen right now of this wheel shows the top and bottom sections in orange, and that is a injection molded composite ABS material that is placed over the metal rim of the stock C5 Corvette steering wheel. Now that composite ABS material is used on the top and bottom section to give the Hydrodipped silkscreen process basically a nice solid surface to grip onto. Now if you guys aren't familiar with hydrodipping, it's a pretty neat process. I'm not an expert in it by any stretch of the imagination, but it has something to do with you have like a vat of water or liquid of some kind, where then you delicately place a film of any kind of pattern that you want. So most commonly people do carbon fiber, but I've seen all different kinds of patterns where they lay this film on top of the water, so it's kind of like sitting on it, kind of like an algae would in a pond, and then you dunk your part in the hydrodipping tank, and something about it, the hydrodipped's material kind of wraps and then grabs onto it. And then there's, I believe, maybe a process to seal that onto this wheel. But it's a pretty cool process, and it's a very cost-effective way to get a real carbon fiber look to a wheel that isn't going to break the bank. So like I said, the top and bottom sections are a injection molded composite ABS material for a nice solid surface, and as you can see on this wheel, it's got a flat bottom, so a little bit more racing oriented, which is great. And then you've got the 9 and 3 positions with a little bit of a bulge out to help with spirited driving, I'll say. On the sides here, you have a polyurethane injection mold, which gives a nice softer surface that they can wrap this dimpled leather around. And like I said, this leather's kind of got like a golf ball look to it, but it's just a really nice feel on the hands when I'm assuming I'm going to be driving this car, because it will help with wicking sweat away if it's a hot day, and just give you a nice grippy surface, and it won't be sliding around like it would be with kind of like a smooth leather. Now on their wheels with real carbon fiber, they won't have the composite ABS top and bottom sections. It will actually be a legit carbon fiber molded piece and then clear coated on the top and bottom. So that's the main construction of the wheel. For the C5 Corvette, like I was saying, they offer full leather wrapped wheels, both with red stitching and black stitching, and then they have the Hydrodipped wheel with the red stitching on the sides here and the red stripe to indicate wheel center, or they just have it with black stitching and no stripe to indicate wheel center. But overall, for the price that this is $279. I would say this wheel feels easily worth $500–600. So it's definitely a bargain wheel. It's a great option if you want to get an aftermarket steering wheel that enhances the look of the car while maintaining the safety of the stock airbag. Now real quick before I jump over to the car, Revesol as a company offer a wide variety of steering wheels, and I'll show kind of like a screenshot of panning through their eBay store. I was pretty astounded to see how many different types of steering wheels they offer for different kinds of cars, trucks, you name it. So they've got wheels for Toyota Tundras, so Revesol, if you want to send one, I got a Tundra too. They've got wheels for the C6 Corvette, C7 Corvette, they've got wheels for Jeeps, they've got wheels for, you know, tuner cars, G35s, you name it. They most likely will have it, and I'm sure if there's enough interest in a particular brand of car that they might start developing a wheel for that one as well. Overall, I'm really stoked with this wheel. I think it's one of the best bang for your buck mods that you can get for this car. The one thing I'm going to be focusing on in the near future here is really updating the look and feel of the interior of the car and all of the touch surfaces. So those are, in my opinion, 3 surfaces. That's the steering wheel, the shifter, and the seats. And when you do that, the surfaces that you touch most often when you're driving the car, it's really going to enhance your overall experience while driving the car. So let's go ahead and hop over to the car. I'll show you guys the really ugly looking wheel I have on the car, which is basically a faux wrapped leather stock wheel, and then I'll quickly talk about the process of swapping this one on and my plan to do that in the next video. Okay, hopping over to the interior of my car. For those that aren't familiar with my car or haven't seen too much of the interior, this is the interior of my C5 Corvette. And it is as I bought the car from the insurance auction. So the previous owner of this car definitely liked their red. So you can see, and I even took some of the red things that were off on this car. So right now we've got a stock C5 Corvette steering wheel that has a leather wrap around it, which I'll show you in more detail. We've got re-skinned red and black seats. We've got red center console, red door handle covers, and then there used to be these little red covers on the actual grab handle for the door and the grab handle above the passenger side airbag. So lots of red going on. I'm probably going to tone down the red on the interior a little bit as I put more seats and things like that in the car, or different seats. But it's still, having the red on this steering wheel, what I'm going to say is a little bit more tasteful than what's in the car right now. Okay, so I'm hoping the wide angle lens on my camera shows a wide enough view to show both wheels side by side, but real quick, here's a close-up of the current stock wheel that the previous owner had installed. So it's a completely stock C5 Corvette steering wheel with this like leather wrapping with kind of a really ugly looking stitch job all the way around it. So it just kind of looks old. The leather looks just kind of gross and outdated and everything, and just, you know, it was a good effort, but there's just a better option now. So let's grab the Revesol wheel and show it side by side. So you can see both wheels side by side here, and just how much just from showing the wheels side by side, how much the new Revesol wheel is going to modernize and update the look and feel of the interior of this car, on top of having the, what is, in my opinion, the cooler and more modern looking flat bottom wheel. The process for taking off the C5 Corvette steering wheel is probably very similar to most other cars, but apparently this wheel, you can either have really good luck with getting it off easily, or it can be a real pain in the butt. So what I got to do is I got to buy the right and proper steering wheel puller tool so that I can get this wheel off, so that it grabs the proper points on the Corvette steering wheel, because the base is the same. So it has to have a special hook tool that goes through those little square cutouts or rectangular cutouts and then pull the wheel off. So I'm going to be ordering that here in the next few days, and then you got to take the airbag off and blah blah blah, make sure you don't blow yourself up. So that's going to be a little bit of a process, but I think it's going to be well worth it to use that new steering wheel. And then the next thing I got to change that is just so outdated and gross in here is this shifter. That is like an AutoZone shifter that has been like this since the day I got the car delivered to me, and I've got a shifter sitting in a box that also will update the look and feel inside the car. So this is a really fun and exciting time for my C5 Corvette build, because I'm finally getting away from doing a bunch of repairs, even though got a little bit of paint touch-up that I want to do, and wet sanding and polishing and buffing, but I'm finally getting to the point of doing fun modifications and updates to the car that'll make it that much better of a driving and handling car with that much better of look as well. So thanks to the team at Revesol for sending me this wheel. It's a great wheel. I'm so excited to see that there's still a lot of support for the C5 Corvette being a 20-year-old car in the aftermarket community. This is such a great competitively priced option that doesn't break the bank, because I didn't want to drop $900 on a steering wheel that still maintained the airbag but just looked better than the stock one. So again, if you guys have a car where you're looking at possibly updating the steering wheel, give them a look on their eBay store. They've got a wide variety and selection of wheels to choose from. So like I said, in the next video I'll be pulling off the stock wheel. Hopefully I'm not going to blow myself up with the airbag, and then installing this new bad boy on the column to the car, and then we'll maybe give it a first drive look and feel with this wheel on it. So thank you all so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions about this wheel and the process for maybe installing it, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll be happy to answer it. Other than that, everyone, stay tuned for the next video of installing this and then a first drive with it. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more videos to come on the C5 Corvette and 3D printing, mixing that with the C5 Corvette. So yeah, that's a lot of exciting stuff to come with this car, especially some parts that I'm hoping to snag around the Black Friday time period. So thanks again guys for watching, and other than that, I will see you in the next one.